want to know what the public feel about... Jared is born in 1973. He managed to say that he was 7 years old
in 1982.
How on earth is that possible?
Now, granted, this is first cup of coffee.
Nine in 1982.
Listen, in 1980, I graduated kindergarten.
It doesn't. Your age is not determined by what grade you're in. But
listen, so in 1981, I graduated first grade. In 1982, I graduated second grade. Now, I would have also started third grade.
This is not about the grade.
I would have started third grade. Listen, and then had a birthday. I would have started third grade later and then had a birthday.
Sweetie,
yes.
You're obsessed about the fact that these school years and cutoffs in America are ridiculous. Ridiculous and stupid.
It's not just America, Sunava. That's all around the world.
No,
Summer break is not an American tradition. Come on.
No, but having the cutoff, it's supposed to be in January.
I'd actually like America,
January 1.
not just Americans.
Calendar year.
This, I'm really interested more in Europeans. She's saying that your age year starts by January 1. In other words, I was a senior starting January 1.
Can you pause the
Even
video?
though school...
Pause the video.
Pause the video. I'm trying to think because he... God, what a neat guy. The gentleman Cinema was just speaking of, I just grabbed the camera to do a clip. He gives birthday presents to all his children and wife on his birthday. What was his I mean, the reasoning is obvious because, but how did he word it?
He just thinks it's nicer to give than to give.
Yeah. I think it makes really humble people a little insecure when people lavish them with gifts. So I don't know when his birthday is, but
I'll find out.
You were talking about something about enlightenment.
Yeah, I just said that I think that most people that I know on that path to enlightenment, because nobody is really enlightened, are they? All welcome age or aging. It's like my mother being 59. She's like, 50's awesome. I'm so ready for the 60s. And then you have the people that are living in the past. They're like, oh God, I'm still 29, you know, even though I'm 55. And they're wanting to be young, and you know, people doing plastic surgery to look younger and to be younger because they liked themselves when they were young and fit and good looking, and that's what they identify themselves with. I think that any person who values what's on the inside will welcome age because they realize that what's on the inside is constantly growing and evolving, while what's on the outside is
powerfully true.
failing in one way.
It's hit me tremendously this week, especially after reading that article yesterday.
I'm gonna go
check on the little one. There was an article yesterday. I just won't make this clip more than 3 minutes, but about it had me in tears. It was a lady. I didn't see her as obese at all, but she had struggled with weight issues, and she found a picture of. I don't know how to turn this on myself, or I would. So how awkward. But anyway, she found a picture on her phone. It was on HuffPost. You guys have got to look it up. And she went up to her little boy, and I'm afraid if I turn this on myself, I'll show you a beautiful dog. She found a picture on her phone. Here, I'll share the story if you hold the phone.
What?
And flip it, because it's kind of weird now that we're not, for the person not talking. I just wanted to share the story about the lady who found a picture on her cell phone, and she thought of herself in ways that I've felt of myself. Sunam and I were just talking about how age, if you're working towards enlightenment, you get more and more secure with growing older. My gray hair and the wrinkles that I used to fight by dyeing my blonde hair and tanning and going to gyms. And I think, you know, being healthy and fit is a good thing for the right reasons, but I think there is a correlation between an enlightened state of mind and embracing the concept of aging. But what struck her was things that had struck me, which were deep insecurities. I had trained really hard, both because I need it for my mind, and I've been an athlete of some sort most of my life. And when I shifted out of that state for emotional reasons, gaining weight and losing weight happened pretty quickly. I could lose weight so quickly, I never worried about gaining it, but I did have deep insecurities until I had my children, until I met Sunava. When I met Sunava on the boat, I weighed the most I'd ever weighed in my life. And I was wearing 3 coats, a pea coat, another coat, 2 shirts, and I was really tanned. Fake tan. You know, but I had not even seen her. We had only seen the eyes, and we had had meditation where crickets were chirping, and we had had some very metaphysical experiences to know that our souls were matched up. So our relationship was never based on looks, and then I quickly got back in balance in Norway and Sweden and lost the weight. But I guess going back really quick to what struck me on that article is that her little boy came up and said, "But Mom, who took this photo?" It was her laying on the beach in a black one piece facing the opposite direction. Not in her best shape, right? But her little boy said, "But Mama, you looked beautiful." You know, it's beautiful. That's why I took that photo. And then the daughter, who was a little bit older, I think came up and saw the picture or something and echoed the same thing. I forget, I'm not saying it eloquently enough, but and man, was she flooded with emotions that while she'll never be super thin based on her bone structure and type, she realized that as her children sees herself, I have goosebumps all over my body, as our children see herself, is how wow, reality TV.
How we should see ourselves.
Is how we should see ourselves, and it struck me having Neo and Gabby and Sunava as a beautiful wife. Clearly, I could have insecurities, but I'm pretty confident about my spirit naturally. I have different types of insecurities, we all do, but I saw that she loved me at my worst. I was coming out of a tough time and moving across the world, and I put on some quick pounds before I met her. And then Gabby sees me just as I am, and Neo sees me as just a father, right? He doesn't see me as 10 pounds overweight. It's the morning of day, I think we said 16. We're dodging rain. I've got a friend of ours, or somebody that's been a big supporter of ours since we started our pack walks. I think she's attended every one unless she was working. Got our couch set, so we're all trying to dodge the rain. We've got pet sits and dog walks. It's just now started sprinkling. I just dropped off Neo, Sunava, and Gabby, who opted to go with Mom instead of me after looking at the radar, and now it's raining. So I hope they're okay. She didn't even have a raincoat on, so I'm waiting for her to call to see what we gotta do. But yeah, day 16. I don't know. My head's just a little bit spinning on stuff, so I'm just gonna.
The plastic, the little ball that he has.
Right.
For the airport. Not that, I don't know if we're gonna get so much time for that, but we might be able to. A little doll, like a small doll. And at home. Wow, I don't know how to translate this. But little clothes, the pins. That you can put on a piece of cardboard.
Yeah. Oh, push pins we call it.
No.
Tacks.
No.
Thumbtacks.
No.
Okay.
For clothes.
Clothespins. Then yeah.
For hanging up clothes.
A hanger?
No. For drying clothes, you put the.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We call them hanging.
That you can put that on a little piece of cardboard and you can pick it up. And Let's see.
Yeah, what do we call those?
Oh, a pencil case with the, like see-through with rock salt
Hmm.
and little toys that and glued shut zipper
Mm-hmm.
so that you can see it and squeeze it and little finger puppets.
These are ideas on how to
Snacks,
keep Neo entertained
stickers.
for the 10-hour flight, 9-hour flight, 8-hour flight.
Stickers that can be removed, on and off, on and off,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones that you just put. Play-Doh. He may be a little too young for that. Paint with water books, she says. Water Wow by Melissa and Doug. And she says a bag of lollipops. What do they call it? Suckers?
Mm-hmm.
For emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
Like when all else fails.
Right.
Just, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she says that apart from all of this, a bunch of other stuff, but these are the things that entertained her kid the longest. They're traveling the world with 3 kids.
Yeah. My mom who had a child in Australia, United States, and Norway said, yeah, she's researching. Soon of has been in a forum, it's a Norwegian forum, but getting a lot of input on the best techniques of having a 1-year-old. She first traveled with Gabby, I think, when she was around 2.5 internationally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little bit different.
We're lucky with Gabby. She's gonna be fine traveling.
Yeah.
She will just, she has her iPad. It's really an Android.
Yeah.
But she calls it an iPad.
She'll be fine.
She'll be fine with that.
She's going to be a helper this time, whereas she was a bit of a slowdown last time. We carried her through Miami International Airport, and she was dead asleep. We were the last to get off that flight. Was that when we came into the country or the holiday? Yeah. It was, the crew waiting.
That was a holiday on the way into the country.
Mm-hmm. The crew waiting for us to get off. We didn't want to wake her up. We knew she was going to be grumpy. I had to put her on our shoulder. We're, Miami International, as you guys know that have been through there, it's a huge airport. And we came in at a weird time. I don't know. I just remember that vaguely as a sprinting, and then having the janitor lady help us. She literally followed us through some elevators and corridors because we were out of our mind already with the time zone change and just Gabby and us, and leaving so swiftly, kind of like we're doing now. We had just taken a horse to Stockholm. We had loaded up Godi and made it across customs to get him to Oslo, to go north of the Arctic Circle, rabbits to our friend that was living in Horton, and like in the last 10 days. So it's similar in some ways. The pace, the intensity. Yeah, so that's what we're checking out right now. Cut. So, unbathed, and we're doing our morning sits. Some of us got one. I've got one. I need a shower. Desperately. So a little bit of wrinkle in our plans. We'll see. We'll navigate through it. I expect this will be the least of the kind of wrinkles that we will see in the last 2 weeks. So, last day of rain, yay. We're having a yard sale tomorrow and the next day. I have no idea. It's listed on Craigslist. We put some photos up last night. It'll be winging it a little bit. That's okay. We don't have super high expectations, but a way to thin down some of the last of the little stuff. I don't know. This is day 15. We're just trying to see if there's going to be a logistical change on some things. I don't know. The crates are going to be moved out of the red shed today. There's a lot of work that needs to be done today. We got to make sure we have all the parts for those. The stickers have been ordered from Amazon. You know, you have to say live animal on board. Again, you'll see on the video, these crates are massive. Willow's was ordered yesterday. The one we had ordered was on back order. That's kind of the laugh of insanity when I think about what's left. One day at a time, you know. Gabby has swimmer's ear. Her ear's hurting, so I gotta get her to the doctor. All of us will. You know, just another day in the life. It's the packing and the sorting and the timing of it all that is really the strangest logistical thing. Forget that you had changed your mind on what might have been just a vacation to, well, let's replant our home base, not giving up the business here at all. As I've said before, I'll say it in every episode in case somebody does not catch on to that. We believe it's going to just extremely enhance our ability to grow Northwest Arkansas, because I can finally just do the stuff that I really know how to do well. We've got great pet sitters and dog walkers. I needed to do it so we could eat, but I think I'm a much better sales and culture, team, promotion, that sort of stuff. It's more my thing. That's really all I've done for 20 years. But hey, you got to learn how to pet sit if you're going to sell pet sitting. You got to learn to walk dogs of all types, and you got to get in the trenches before you can move up the ranks, whatever that means. I've had not enough coffee. We didn't do a press. I did 1 K-cup. Crying a soul to a friend. Oof. I do know that when we arrive, and I would like to sleep for 2 or 3 days, but you know, you can't sleep for 2 or 3 days when you have a baby. But perhaps it'll get slightly easier to take shifts, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting journey. Hold on tight. That's what I'm telling myself.
So, this is not one of the easy days. It's a little tougher for you. How are you feeling today?
It's hard to put into words because it's such a mix of emotions. We're down to 15 days, and you have the practical reasons for stress, the emotional reasons for stress, the physical aspects of stress, and when any of those tilt, I think a little bit extra, and in some cases a lot extra. You know, it's and I think as the days get closer for me on this side, I have to feel the emotions of that being a parent. Yeah, I have to feel the emotions of my family that's mourning a bit, as we make this jump. And we've both experienced it now on both sides, which gives unique vantage points, and it doesn't help salve pain of knowing that somebody's hurting, and you have to shield yourself as much as possible for the sake of your family and those around you. But as it gets closer, or if that energy of somebody that cares for you is weighted. It bears on you, and I think it's just a complex.
What's the hardest part about that?
About
feeling your family's pain or sorrow, sadness, mourning.
Mm-hmm. I think it's you can't control it. You can't fix it. It's just hard period to know anybody that's hurting. It would be hard to see somebody in my driveway that had stumbled in incoherently, really in pain. I would feel his pain. So it's magnified, of course, when you've got your family. I think for each of us, our mums would be the ones to take it the hardest. So,
do you feel any guilt?
My logic side of my brain and my says I shouldn't, but of course I do. And then I go through a lot of self-awareness and self-analysis. You and I do every day. How much of it is ingrained in my DNA? How much of it is presented from patterns? Guilt that is from a tendency to feel guilt, from a parent who had a tendency to maybe feel guilt, who maybe was reared by parents who had a tendency to imply guilt inadvertently, who maybe were, that chain goes back so far. So in one way I understand it, but it doesn't make it easier right now. Yeah.
What do you feel is the best thing you can do in this situation?
I'll answer what she has to say with bacon dish. I think that the best thing that you or I could do in this situation, right now it's me, is to be strong and to be confident in the direction that our boat is going, and know that once we reach land, metaphorically and literally, the happiness that I believe our family will get back into, and the dream that we are chasing that's not understood by all, but this is our life, and this is a confessional. It's tough. I've had a tough morning, and I can just speak. I think she's got that just tilted. We thought about doing these confessionals once in a while, or interview each other as it gets harder, or you face different things. I don't know, it's like I don't know. Today I'm trying to figure out the logistics of how we get out of here on the day that we load up and have to leave, based on the fact that because of sheer numbers, we've got clients, dogs that we've committed to up until the end. If we go that route, we've got these different variables to consider. It's tough to be around family that's mourning, but you want to be. I know firsthand because I went through it on the other side, It's extremely uncomfortable for everyone, almost. And I think then they have to process it on the other side. So we're trying to just figure that all out. Oddly enough, the least of my concerns, somebody asked when we get talked about, it's not by the time we get the rig loaded with the crates and head out on what will be a hellaciously painful, slow journey to Chicago and a plane ride that will be the most difficult I've ever endured, I suspect, having a 13-month-old. So right now it's about the emotions of family that's going through a bit of mourning, and the practicality and logistics of, can we still make it? There's about a $700 gap in the budget that we hope to leave. It's going to fill in, but it's, you know, it's winging it a bit. I think I filled in some gaps. We had the baby there.
Yeah.
Ask some any other questions.
I mean, I know this situation well. It's hard. Why would your family be mourning, you think?
Yeah, well, the loss of connection, I guess. I don't know. You and I don't know if I can say this or if this is a safe place to go, but we were talking about this morning if one of us had an illness.
Yeah.
Let's say I had cancer. Let's say you had cancer. You know, switching it each time we've left and we've had family. It's been a deep mourning. How people would approach you near the end of leaving would be quite different. But so what makes it different when you're moving versus say you were sick and had limited time left? I don't know.
Maybe expectations?
Expectations?
I mean, that's what would change if, say, one of us was sick. You wouldn't have the same expectations to the future.
Yeah, it would all be about enjoying the present.
Change.
I think that's it. Yeah, it must be mourning the loss of expected potential future scenarios that we don't even know will exist. Because I could die in a car wreck today, and it may be the last day I visited with my mother on the phone this morning, and she may thank God that we talked on the phone today. So it is eerie that the human condition gets so wrapped up in the future that we lose today. Sunil and I spent a good part of yesterday watching these videos to help inspire, remind us about just being alive and being present. The story of Zach, what's his name? Sobiak. Just do YouTube it, or we'll reshare it. It was just one of these families you walk into and you just emulate the kind of things that you hope to aspire to do. No family's perfect, but he was facing cancer and decided to write a song once he got down to months to live. It was called Clouds, and it kind of became a social media sensation, and this little docudrama got turned into something quite different than it was expected to be. But anyway, we spent time trying to see things that reminded us about living in the present, which you have to do with a young baby.
So yeah, now we gotta wrap it up, I think.
Cut. This may be part of episode 5, yard sale. I plan to get up at 5 today. We were exhausted last night. We worked extremely late. I literally passed out with my phone in my chest, trying to read one article, and then I was about to head to the bedroom, and I fell asleep with my glasses on my head. People were rolling up, so I woke up at 4. That was too early. Fell back asleep. I woke up and saw 6 o'clock. And kind of screamed because nothing had been priced. I got Gabriella up to help me first, and
woke me up in my sleep.
she was deep asleep. So we got a lot of things still to come out. We're bringing them out and pricing them as we go, but we've met some insanely beautiful souls. This lady who lived in Iceland when her military was in the service, and I was trying to tell Sunniva these American yard sales are as much about the conversations as the stuff sold, you know. And I think when they saw the family moving to Europe, it kind of attracts a certain crowd, and just it was neat. It's like your grandma relating to the grandmas on both sides, and you know, just so happy for us. But anyway, neat conversations, frantic run to the bank, trying to claim things out, prices, we bring things out. Don't even have a sign on the street yet. Had several people come in and out. This was just my little break to get a clip of yard sale day.